Alright guys, the first notes of our new unit, Unit 3 on statistics, is using the slope formula. This should be review. If you have trouble after this short notes, come and talk to me on your own and let me know. But let's get started. I've already written down the actual formula for finding slope. M, which stands for slope, which I always remember because it looks like mountains, right? M for mountains. There's my snow, and maybe there's like a sunset in the back, but you know, I'm not an artist. Maybe there's some more mountains there. So I always remember M is slope because mountains have slopes. So it's equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is, I'm going to throw under the review reminder, the change in y over the change in x, or the rise over the run. Oops, run. Run. So we've just been talking about this sort of thing. And the y's and the x's, those come from your coordinate points. Okay, and I'm going to throw that under the pant. It looks like pants. Points. It's points on my paper. Coordinate points. Which, of course, there's for every point that you can plot on a Cartesian coordinate system. I might spell this wrong. I apologize in advance. Coordinate system. Coordinate system. There's an x and a y, so you can plot it, right? So let's do an example, and let's do, if I'm given the point 3, 7, and I'm also given the point 5, 4, let's see if we can use those in our slope formula. Let's see if we can substitute those numbers in to our slope formula. So let's call this, since this is the first one I wrote down, x1, y1. And then since this is the second one I wrote down, x2, y2. And let's go ahead and substitute those in. So it says y2 comes first. Oops, I didn't need to do that. y2 comes first, so that's going to be 4, right? Minus, then y1, which is 7, over x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 3. All right, so my numerator, I now have 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. So if I start at 4 and I go backward 7, I go below 0, over 5 minus 3, which is positive 2. And remember, a fraction is just division, so what I have here is negative 3 divided by positive 2, which is negative 1.5. So I have a negative slope for this one, negative 1.5. Now, I want to show you, I want to do this all again, but I want to switch my points around to show you that no matter which x or y I choose first, I'm going to get the same slope. So let's write our numbers down again, our points down again, but this time I'm going to start with the point 5, 4, and then I'm going to be given the point 3, 7. So let's label these this time. Let's label 5 and 4 x1 and y1, and 3 and 7 x2 and y2. Okay, now let's substitute those back in to the equation, which is going to be different. So if I start with y2, I'm going to have 7, right? Minus y1 is going to be 4. over, and this time since I started with 7, my y2, I need to start on the denominator with 3, my x2, over 3 minus 5. All right, this time I get 7 minus 4 is positive 3, but 3 minus 5 on the denominator is negative 2. So it's kind of the opposite of what happened on the numerator, but if I use my calculator and I divide a positive 3 by a negative 2, I still get negative 1.5. So no matter which direction I do it in, I'm getting the same slope. So don't worry when you're given 2 points which ones to use first. It doesn't matter as long as if you use this y first, you need to use this x first on the denominator. Or if you use this y first on the numerator, then you need to use this x first on the denominator. Okay? So what does it mean that these are the same? Well, let's just do a quick sketch of what this line actually looks like so you can see what it would look like as a graph. So I'm just going to draw my coordinates. And my first point was, if we go back to the first one we did, 3, 7. So let's see. Let's count by 2 since I made this small. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 3, 7, 3 is here, and 7 will be here. So that's approximately my first point. And my second point was 5, 4. So 5, 4. Okay? And as you can see, it's a negative slope. Okay? It's a very steep one, at least the one I drew, because I did it off the cuff. It's a negative slope. So the first one, let's look back up. The first time I got it, I did negative 3 for the y, so that meant down 3. So if this is where I started, I went down 3, and then positive 2. So I went down 3, and then positive 2. That was my first slope. The second time I did it, I said we're starting at this point, and I'm going up 3 and negative 2. So positive 3 and negative 2, or negative 3 and positive 2. But either way, I get the same slope. It's just on which side of the line are you drawing your slope triangle. So let's remember that down here. What a slope triangle is, because sometimes that can help us see it. I'm going to do some practice problems of real world situations. This was just to get you used to using the formula to find the slope. Please let me know if you have any problems with this. Don't forget to put this in your table of contents. First one in Unit 3.